What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of, you guess it, the Determined Society. This afternoon, I have an amazing guest that's going to be joining us. His name is Rick Lademann from Beyond Motion down in Naples, Florida. This dude is legit. He is a legit performance coach. If you are an athlete in Southwest Florida and you're not working with Rick Lademann, man, I got to tell you, check it at the door. This dude has been Cal Berkeley, helped the rugby team win a national championship. Actually, he is hopping on right now, so I will let him finish his introduction. Let's wait until he is live. Where is he at? Let me see that face. Where you at, baby? Oh, there's my guy. You there? Can you hear me? He's just hopping on, ladies and gentlemen. You there, brother? Can't hear you. Are you on mute? Hey, guys, sometimes we deal with some technical difficulties. That's what we do, right? It is what it is. Can you hear me, Rick?
Oh.
Oh, there's my guy. What's up?
Oh,
man?
my God.
Oh, my
Tell you,
goodness. I was just giving you the most proper introduction. It's incredible.
Well,
Flip that thing. Man, you are as handsome as ever. Son of a bitch.
I tell you what, there's no Wi-Fi. I'm in the back of my facility in my truck. This is nice.
Dude, this is one of the favorite things about you, brother. A lot of people hit that adversity, right? I don't have Wi-Fi. Let's reschedule. You're sitting in there in your truck. You're offering Starbucks to go sit at the Wi-Fi to get this thing done. So I really appreciate you, man. I am so excited to have you on today.
Well, I appreciate the invite, man. You're doing some great stuff, and you're motivating a lot of people, and the kids are definitely listening to you, and it's making a movement. So we like that.
Hey, man, it's a process, right? We got that ramp up going, and it takes one to know one. I mean, you've been influencing kids and helping kids get better for decades, man. And that's one of my favorite things about you is your focus on actual training, specifically training. But I was just telling everybody, and you hopped on, I was giving everybody your resume. So I stopped. Okay. I stopped at 2003 Rugby National Championship at Cal. I started there because you're so prompt. So why don't you fill everybody in on just briefly kind of where you've been and how you've ended up where you're at right now?
Yeah, it's been a long road. I started with Chicago Bulls. I went to high school with the strength coach's son. So I used to play pickup basketball where the Bulls used to practice, which was at the multiplex over in Deerfield, Illinois. And I would pass, and them training as I'd go play pickup basketball where they'd play. But they'd be weightlifting and stuff like that. And I'd see Lance and they're like, "Hey, boy, what's going on?"
Lance Vermeil, right?
Lance Vermeil, yeah.
Yep.
So Al Vermeil's son.
Yep.
And he was a really good Olympic weightlifter. And so I trained that way. He trained that way. And then once, Al and I got introduced through football and everything else. And appreciated watching me play and watching everything else. And I knew him when I took a year off of school. I knew him. And I said, you know what? It can't hurt to create a phone call and say, listen, I know I want to be a strength conditioning coach. I'm taking a current year off of school, and he calls and he goes, you know what? We really don't do interns right now, but, I guess we'll make an exception. I like to watch you, watching the past and everything like that. You went to the same high school, Lance and everything. So I go to the Bulls for what turns out to be like a year. And I'm just an intern, really, right? So I'm just doing pretty much whatever they want me to do, making coffee for the guys, doing draft evals, doing whatever picking up as much as I can. And at that point, they were at the Berto Center, which was their last practice facility. And this was still the Pippen, Jordan era, everything else, Dennis Rodman. So that'd be pretty cool. It was, it's like Pip comes in, MJ comes in, and then at the end of the day, me and Rodman would lift like almost every night. So, and that was just like, you're around this because you grew up around it too. So these are just freaking legends, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And you just feel the energy walk through the doors as Michael walks in and everything else. So so you get to be around that. And I'll never forget, they were like, it was 97, I think, and we were playing I think it was Seattle in the finals that year.
Okay.
And
Gary Payton, the glove.
The glove, Sean Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
He was fierce at that time. And they're out there. And so then I go to the practice facility at that point, and they're playing the last game, and I just have this big screen while I'm lifting, right? And I'm just like, where it all is created and everything else like that. And I'm just having the time. I'm lifting by myself, music blaring,
right.
big screen, watching the last game of the NBA Finals.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
And having a very small part to do with any of it, but just being like, feeling like you're part of it though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of my fondest memories, and that really got me, in the door of strength and conditioning. So it was that point that Al and I sat down, and he said, "Look, it's time to finish school." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta go back." And so he goes, "What do you think about going to Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs?" And I said, "Well, like I'm not good enough to compete at that level, but I could like help out and coach and
mm-hmm.
stuff like that." And he goes, "Well, they're looking for a junior coach in Colorado Springs at the OTC, and you coach during the day and go to school at night and like finish up. You got 2 years left." So so I go, "Yeah, I'm down for that. I'll do it." So I move out to Colorado Springs. It took me a while to get adapted there, just because Dragomir, who was our head coach at the USA weightlifting,
mm-hmm.
is Romanian background, Eastern Bloc. So I had to learn some new adaptations to how they actually taught lifting on Olympic style. And I'm in this facility that, like we talked about earlier, that like I have no business being in, right? So
awesome.
It's just you just sort of like, and you're getting, and let's get it right. Let's, anyone who's listening to this, you're getting fucking verbally hammered every day.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So kids, stop being so fucking soft. Like I'm
Here
like
he is.
getting like,
here he comes.
I'm like, yeah, seriously. So they're teaching me how to, like, there's a difference between Russian and Bulgarian weightlifting. Russian's really not a lot of hip movement. Bulgarian's got a big hip thrust into it. Okay. It's very hard to learn one when I was taught Russian prior to, then I had to transition Bulgarian because they wanted me to compete lightly too on the other side. Right. So I had to create a hip thrust. So I'm at the bar, like doing a hip thrust, trying to create it, and I'm missing where it's got to hit. And they're just fucking laughing their ass off left and right. And literally they're just laughing at you. So I'm like, okay, well, this is new for me. And you learn to take it, right? And then you consistently show up. You consistently do go about it. After 6 months, I earned their respect. They officially offered me the job as like, we need you now as like living on campus, on site as the junior coach for the junior team. And really, I was a babysitter at that point. It's not like I knew any more than these kids did. But after a while, I will say this, is after 2 years of watching progressions and watching patterns, you learn a lot through just not only verbology and talking, but through osmosis at the same time, because you're watching the same dynamic. It's like you watching catching. You're developing patterns with your eyes. So I always say to guys, do you want to coach, or girls, do you want a coach who's seen 25 years, or do you want a coach who's seen 5 years of patterning? I'll take 25 years all day long, because they see stuff that 5-year guy or girl has not seen at all.
Yeah.
So it really helped my coach's eye as far as what I like to see and how I did it and how I performed it and how I actually articulated it and then coached it. So I was at the Olympic Training Center for 2 years, finished up school out there, and I was going to Colorado State, which is one Pueblo, because I had good exercise science / nutrition program. graduated from there, and then the Bulls called up and said, "We're ready for you. We need you, and we want you to come back." So I go back out there, spend, God, a year and a half, 2 years almost, with the Bulls, and that was the time. By the time we drafted Elton Brand, Ron Artest, had a big draft that year. That was 2000, and it was sort of like quite a contrast because I went there. You're there in '97. You have all this hype. You have all this. You can't even walk outside the practice facility because you're getting mobbed by people. And then you're in 2000 walking back, and you're trying to create, see a team that's totally different. But the thing is, when Al calls you and says they want anything from you, you go, because Al's the cream of the crop when it comes to strength conditioning.
He's the guy.
And he has more knowledge in 5 seconds than anyone does in 5 years. So, my only wish if I was a little older so I can take more of it in, because we would just call in specialists from all over the country and just learn from them, right? So nothing's new, as you know, right? Everything's just retaught to a certain extent, reframed and everything else. So I was with the Bulls. I learned a lot. And then at that point, I was really missing Colorado. And I had an opportunity to go to Stedman Clinic, which is one of the highest orthopedic firms in the country. And they wanted me to learn their progressions, but also then basically be the liaison between them and the Rockies for post rehab. And I was hesitant to take it because I thought I'd be going from team to team to team at that point, and sort of ready for the nomadic coaching lifestyle, as I'm sure you were thinking. At some point.
Of course, man. Yeah.
So you're prepping yourself for that, and so I went.
You hear the sad story all the time. A father or mother passes away and didn't have life insurance, and the family is left to deal with the debt and struggle without any financial help. That's where term life insurance comes in. It can help protect the family financially from those struggles if something unexpected were to happen to you or your spouse. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done today for busy parents like you, all online, on your schedule, right from your couch. You can be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. If you got kids, and especially if you're young and healthy, the time to lock in low rates is now. Even if you have life insurance through your employer, it may not offer enough protection for your family, and it may not follow you if you leave your job. There's no risk. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. Join thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help their family. Apply in just minutes at meetfabric.com/TDS. Meetfabric.com/TDS. MEET fabric.com/TDS. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company. Not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
To Colorado Springs, I took the job. And I spent a year in rehab, which was one of the best years I had because my ego's gone, right? I'm like, I don't even know how to put an ice pack on somebody. But I'm learning about post rehab and ACL, MCL, labrum, you name it, rotator cuff. And it's really given me a lot more ammunition for like my knowledge base, which I always enjoyed. And then, through that time frame, after about 3 months, they let me door open to Coors Field, meet Larry Walker, Todd Helton. We drafted Denny Nagel that year, Hampton, everything else. Crazy. And Walk and Helton sort of become my guys, and I'm with Walk most of the time.
You ended up working with Walk.
I was his guy. Yeah,
you were his guy. For those of you listening, Walk is Larry Walker. All right, the Larry Walker. I mean, this guy look him up. He's an absolute stud. Rick, tell us a little bit about your experience with him, but just for our listeners, in case, because there might be some younger people listening, they don't know what Walk is.
Yeah. Larry Walker's a Hall of Famer. He just got in actually a few months ago.
Yeah.
He's a right fielder. He is the epitome of 5-tool player. He can pretty much, I hate to say it, but wake up after having 2 hours of sleep, hit 3 home runs, a double, and roll it out and do it the next day. It just came very natural to him. So he's arguably one of the better 5-tool players that ever, saw the outfield in the game. He played at Coors Field most of his career. He was with Montreal Expos before that, and then actually ended with St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep.
But I was his main guy. He was coming off of the knee surgery. I told him, he interviewed me at his house in Evergreen, Colorado, which was this gorgeous freaking, metropolis. And he goes, let's go. And like after 2 hours, I'm like, okay, you want to go now? He's like, let's go now. So
let's do this shit.
Yeah, and he adapted very well. Walk's one of those athletes that, as you know, Sean's like, you can explain it to him and coach him, but all you got to do is show him it once and he gets it, right? So he's so natural and beautiful to watch. Yeah, I mean, and he's, as you know, one of the best players that ever come in the league. So he was fun to work with in that way. But it also gave me the existence of like, listen, like, and I'll tell all those young strength coaches out there, you never want to tie yourself to one person, because through that aspect, it also taught me a lesson like, hey, as he's demanding more and more from me, he's not paying more and more for me. So, and he's really not showing me off to more and more people either. Like, it's not like, I meet John Yeah, he wants to keep me. Like, I'd meet John Elway, I'd meet all these guys, and it's like, it was sort of like, okay, it wasn't necessarily hobnobbing. It was sort of like, okay, this is my chef, this is my coach, trainer in the back, you guys go do your thing. So it was a really interesting experience, and I did that for 2 years. And it came to the point one year where it was just like, he had 2 very successful years. He goes, I feel good, I'm ready to go, and I feel like I can continue what we're doing. And I said, that's great, because I'm ready to move on as well. Yeah. And it was nice. At that point, I got to deal with more of the farm hands, more of the minor league guys, and I ended up being in Colorado for about 4 years and training those guys. And I became more of a speed, expert at that point, and actually teaching speed to all the minor league guys coming up and all the major league guys. I got recruited by about 4 or 5 different colleges at that point to be a strength coach for the baseball team and basketball. And I decided to go to Cal Berkeley, and that was more of a strategic move, because my best friend, who still is my best friend to this day, is he just got the head strength coach job with the Raiders. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was like, when you're a strength coach, you are a strength coach. The NFL and SEC is what pays, and you want to be around the sport that you sort of, that you resonate with the most. So his whole staff gets fired like 4 months after I move out there, because they just came off a Super Bowl year and can't win a game the next year. They had a ton of stuff go on. So I'm on Cal Berkeley after a year, and I'm looking at my guy. I'm like, I did not like being a strength coach in college. I did not enjoy it at all. Okay. You have a lot of people telling you what to do when they don't know. Like, okay, well, I know they're sore. It's because they're not ready for load yet, and we have to teach them how to create, how to endure load, so they don't have that soreness. So that brought me to a fact of like, I've been through a lot. I've traveled with a bunch, and I decided, like, my wife and I had visited Marco Island a lot, visited Naples a lot. My parents had a place in Marco, and I'm like, well, let's see what's down here. So IMG flew me down and wanted me to take over their baseball aspect, everything else. And then I said, I'm going to tag team this with NCH. NCH was developing a program that actually was developmental for going into the high schools for strength conditioning. Okay. And so I took that, and NCH turned into a 1 year or 2 year stint to like 5. And that just turned into like, I was a manager, then I was a director. And then I was pretty much in administration meetings my last 2 years there, which once again, I wouldn't change for the world, because it was just such a business learner. I was pretty much in an MBA fast track, right? At that point, trying to figure out what the heck, how do I do a budget? Like, I'm in this computer program, and I'm literally cheating from the people on my right and left. I'm like, what, your oncology? Okay, well, how do you do this? So I have no clue what I'm doing. And but it taught me management skills, taught me people skills more so, taught me how to create a better team around me. And so we opened Beyond Motion about 13 years ago, and decided to do that.
And it brings us to here. So like, the cool thing is, for like everybody that has listened to your background, the last 15 minutes, there's a lot of impressive things, right? I mean, it's overload of impressive because you've been so decorated throughout your career. That's not why I love you. I love you because of the type of person you are and the fact that you have been there for me since day one, right? Have always been by my side whenever I call, we talk, we have great conversation. But the one thing that I want people to understand is you said two things, right? Two things that young people and even adults can key in on, right?
Right.
And be like, this is going to make me a better professional, a better human, a better father, a better wife, a better like husband, wife, everything, right? Is you just made the call.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I know this kid's, I know the son, right? So I'm going to call his dad and just ask for an internship. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, let's be very clear on something. In life, when you want something, you have to make the call. No one's going to come and give it to you, right? And that's a lot of the content that I put out there. Like whatever you imagine, whatever you could vividly imagine in your life, if you truly believe it and you put it out there, it has to happen. You know, that's just the law, right? So by you making that call, dude, change the whole trajectory of your life. It may have just been that it may have just been that little what is it, an internship, but it created a domino effect for your whole career.
It did, and I preach that to our young coaches. I said, just show up, man. I mean, just keep on showing up, and you do that. That's half the battle.
You know?
Exactly. And I think as we get older, we stop doing that sometimes because that fearlessness leaves us. I don't know if you've experienced that at all.
So like,
go ahead.
No, because like that's I'm so glad you went down that road, because when we're young, fuck, I thought I could fly, right? I put a Superman pajamas on with the cape and I thought I could fly, right?
Yeah.
That's the believability when you're a kid. You think you can do whatever you want. But as we get older, what happens? You know, a loved one or your friend or your coach or your teacher tells you can't do something, you start to believe that bullshit, right? You make that agreement with yourself, like, you know what, Sean, Rick, no, I can't do that. So walk me through that, because I mean, it's a very good point. Like, as we get older, that sucks.
It sucks, right? So, so let's be like totally transparent. Like I left out Air Force Academy. I did a stint at Air Force Academy too when I was in Colorado Springs, and for football. And one of the things, the reason I got in there is because this head coach looks at my head resume and says, "This is ridiculous. How have you gotten this much experience? And you're 23 or 24 years old." And I said, right place, right time, not afraid to make a call. And that's the exact thing I said. At that, I'm 24. I'm saying this out loud. And at this point, it's like, is in business now, and you and I talk, hell, I'll send emails out. I'll make a call. I won't even get a return call from a high school coach, and it's crazy. And it's like, there's a way to do business. There's a way not to do business. There's a way to create relationships and not. And it's like, it's very interesting that, you make so much leverage when you're younger, like you did, like I did in that point in the coaching curriculum. And then you're down and it's like, okay, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. You're a high school basketball coach. I think we could really help your program out. And this kid doesn't want the help, or the guy doesn't want the help. And it's like, I'm not looking to coach your kids. I'm looking to say I could definitely help the kid and help the program. And it's very interesting how the field has evolved that way too, because the field's become so saturated to a certain extent, as you know, that I think this is not new to anyone either. This is not like, hey, there's a strength coach calling that actually knows what he's doing. I might be the sixth guy that's offered my services to him, but the first 4 or 5 guys really have no resume or no experience to go with it. So I think there's so many things that go on within life that create that, like, hey, do I have faith or do I have fear? And I'll pick faith over fear anytime. And we can go into, like COVID talk and everything else, right? So it's like, are you afraid of getting COVID when I work in a gym? It's like, no, if that's the way I'm supposed to go, that's the way I'm supposed to go. I'll pick faith over fear, regardless of, whether I vaccinated or, everything else.
True.
But that's got to be sort of like, hey, you can't be afraid to throw it down and throw it out there, because there's someone going to be hustling right behind you and trying to get that. But I truly do think that at some point you are funneled and there's enough messages on the wall that say, listen, it's time to make a little bit of a pivot and go this way instead of this way. Right. And in business, as we've seen it in 12, 13 years, I mean, we have a population that changes every 3 or 4 years as we go through the gym and the facility. We have more young athletes now than old. Mm-hmm. And I'm enjoying it more so than ever, because we're getting people that just want to be freaking animals in front of me. Right. And that aren't worried about, my shoulder hurts a little bit. Like, oh, fuck your shoulder. Let's fucking train, right?
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. It's like, stop being a pussy. So, and once you surround yourself with fucking lions like that, that's all you want. That's all you want to be around, you know. And that's it's hard to tolerate. It's hard to tolerate anything but that. So I want the best out of you, best out of your genetic predisposition. And in order to do that, I have to get you used to a load that your body's not used to right now.
Dude, you got me fired up, man. You're making me excited for April. I don't want to give away what's coming. God. But you know, when certain things do happen, you know, I would expect that I'm getting trained there.
Well, yes. So certain, you know, there's some stuff coming up. I can't divulge right now. It's in a contract, but we got some big business moves coming up, big facility moves coming up, and
what's up, man?
It's gonna be lines only, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's we're gonna stick to what we love and what we want to be surrounded by. And if you come in bitching about something this here or there and complaining, and go leave, because this ain't the place for you, I go,
you better put that shit up on the door, lines only.
I know, and let's address it, right? So I mean, so many people run away from it. And you know, for instance, hey, if you train in the sand and you're sore the next day, that means you didn't adapt to that load. Okay. Mm-hmm. So why didn't you adapt to that load I gave you? And you can look at just load as in freaking a different surface I trained you on. So let's attack that instead of walk away from it. No, I don't want to go in the sand anymore. It's like, well, you're unstable somewhere. Something's happening. There's some mental instability. Let's figure out why. Because at 10 years old, I guarantee you weren't sore after you played in the sand. So
good point, man.
That's just you know, that's another way we look at it in this field, is like, hey, how did that athlete handle that segment of programming? And if they didn't handle it very well, we really dig in and see why, because that's something we can improve on.
Dude, so many nuggets, guys, so many gems dropped by Rick Lademann here. You know, Rick is not the new age trainer, and I don't want to diss anybody out there, right? But I know you're passionate about this, right? Because you're old school, right? You're an OG, and you've worked your way up, and you've built your clientele, I don't want to say the hard way, but the old school way, right? And what sets you apart, man? Like, how are you so different than, let's just say, a trainer down the road from you?
I know what I'm talking about.
Expand on that.
These guys.
I'm intrigued.
Oh, man.
Let's rock the fucking boat here, man.
These guys are junk. Listen, when you pick a coach that's had many mentors. Mm-hmm. Pick a coach that understands movement, that understands how everything's based. Pick a coach that isn't looking on Instagram the night before and trying to figure out the workout prior to. Pick a coach that simplifies it so good that makes you understand the process just as good as they do. That means you're picking someone that understands it more so than anyone else. Okay. Now I'm making the mistake of going in a room and presenting to parents and having parents look at me and go, I have no clue what this guy just said. Just because when I get nervous, I'm going to talk like, you know, like a shop talk, right? So, right. All right. But when I'm in front of a kid or an athlete, my job is to say, okay, I want you to understand it just as much as I understand it. And that's my goal. And if I can't simplify it enough, then I'm not doing my job as a coach. And the competition, you know, it's different. It's like you don't look at them as competitors necessarily all the time. You look at it like, what are we doing not to attract that athlete? And I will say from day one, even the parents say, we attract a smarter athlete, we attract a cognitive athlete, we attract an athlete that wants to understand the training process. I am not attracting an athlete. Listen, if you come in and say, I want to be, this is a one family, one unit, one thing, everything, like, no, fuck that, dude. I'm your coach. You don't want me as your family. You want me as a coach. That's what you're paying me for, and you want me there.
Okay, let's go down that road, okay? Because you sent me a text message a couple of days ago getting ready for this. You're like, I'm your coach. I'm not your fucking friend, right? So it's like, and here's the thing, like, I agree with that completely. All right. When I grew up, my coaches were my coaches. They were not my friends. Like, I couldn't go up to them and put my arm around, like, what's up, French? Like, you know, like, or whatever. What's up, Coach P? Like, what's up, P? No, it was like, hey, coach, how you doing, sir? Yes, sir. Like, nowadays, the modern day athlete wants to be friends with their coach. So like, when you take on a new athlete, you know, you have your intake, you know, have your meeting with the parent, everything like that. How do you bring that across? Because to me, like, if you want the best out of your performance, and Mr. Smith, if you want the best out of your daughter's performance and you want her to go swim in the Junior Olympics, then I'm not her fucking friend. Period.
That's well said. That's very well said there. And that's a level of that's a level that I think they relate to. I think parents that when we do evals, we do about an hour and a half eval. We go over everything. And I make it very clear in the eval that I'm here for, you know, he or she to get better. We're here to progress them. We're here to actually mentor them. We're here to actually make sure they understand where their weaknesses are, so we can make them their strengths, so they're not at their weaknesses anymore. It gets a little more blurry when you start dealing with the 20-plus-year-olds a little bit. Yeah, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And listen, some of my best friends down here are guys I've trained. I don't train them anymore. Are guys I've trained. Like,
but they evolve into
10
that,
years
right?
ago,
They evolve into that, right? And I think that's through common interest and respect. You've been in the trenches with them before. You've pushed them. You've put load after load, progression after progression on them. They have, he or she has responded. They have gone to college. They have done their deal. They've gone and played pro ball. And now that they're in pro ball or their career is done, now we're friends. See, there's a point, as you know, when relationships evolve, right? And your athletes can become your friends down the road. But just because they're not your friend, or you're not a friend to them now, doesn't mean you've lost you don't have any love for them. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You love them so much, you don't want to be their friend, you want to be their coach. So they get everything, so they work and achieve everything that they set out to do in this life as far as athletics goes.
That's so well said. And that, based on a conversation I have with another coach the other day, it's like some kids and athletes demand it. You could feel it from you, right? So you see an athlete once in a while that's just, they want to be coached. They demand to be coached. And that only makes you a better coach. You know those kids on your schedule that are coming in. And if you're coming in 45 minutes early and gabbing left and right, if you're staying 45 minutes late, listen, like, I'm here for you in every aspect of the way when it comes to this. If you need to lean on me mentally or physically, that's what I'm here for. Okay. But I'm not here to talk about your girl. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about how are we going to get the next contract? How are we going to get the next team? How are we going to get the next college? That's what I want to get. That's what I'm here for you to do. Through that process, we'll become very close, and we will lean on each other in that aspect. And once ride's all over, we'll be boys. Yeah. And that's how it works out. And it's the relationships you remember. It's not the training that you remember. It's the relationships. And it's, you know, the fact that, listen, you don't want a coach that doesn't bring 110% and is looking strictly out for you and giving you high fives and going out to be drinking that night. If you're going out drinking and doing all that stuff with the coach, listen, I made those mistakes. I did that with Walk and those guys, right? And I can tell you right now, the respect the next week or two is different. So that's showing that's not what your role is. Your role is strictly they're paying you to make you a better athlete. And you want to make sure that they're mentally and physically comprehending what you're doing, how you're doing it, and where they're going with it. So, for instance, we talk about load. And I know I just keep on going back to that. And I said, If I get you used to it, if I give you a workout, you're crippled from it. You're not ready for that load. All right.
Mhm.
If I give you a workout, you're somewhat sore. Where was that load from? And we do that with sprinting, running, lifting, everything else. And all these things can be programmed together to inherently progress the athlete to a certain extent.
Right.
You know, my pet peeve is just that you get these Instagram trainers down here and everywhere else that just they don't quite understand how to incorporate that, so you're actually creating a better athlete that does not get injured instead of
Right.
that progresses and gets the best out of their potential.
Dude.
So, and I go on forever. I've probably talked too much, but
It's all
you
good.
got me in my,
No, I
you
want
got
you
me
to
in my
talk.
car. It's like
That's
90
the thing,
degrees in here.
though. See, dude, that's the thing, though.
It's
Like,
getting hot. Yeah.
hey, no one's here to listen to me, man. This is your story, right? This is you, you know, presenting who you are, right? This isn't about me. So, like, I just enjoy every conversation that we have, truly, because I don't think you and I have ever had a dumb conversation. Like, we're always finding ways to get better. I mean, hell, you and I had a conversation last night, right? I'm not going to divulge it onto here, but you asked me for some advice and I gave it to you. Just like when I asked you for advice, you give it to me. It's this friendship, guys, and this bond to where we are so focused on helping each other get better and progress that I don't want him to follow me. I don't want him to lead me. I want to run right next to this guy, you know, and that's just the type of person you are, man. So, you know, and it's apparent to all your athletes too. I know a lot of kids, you know, young athletes that train with you. Okay, a couple of mine specifically, you know, one at CSN, and you know, we know a lot of mutual people that used to train with you when they were playing, right? There's never been one thing, not one thing that I have ever heard bad. It's like, dude, he's a badass. He's the real deal. He's a dude, and he'll push the shit out of you. What more like testimonial could you have than that, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, and you know, you don't remember all the good things said about you. You remember the two things that like could have done better and everything else. I think as you get older, you start to question your ability to create those relationships sometimes as well.
Right.
And you start to question the ability of like, listen, I you know, I'm giving you 110% right now. And I think the kids see through that pretty quickly.
Right.
And I really do believe like attracts like you said. Like
100.
we talked last night. I had some questions for you, and you know, meanwhile the guy reached out actually.
Did he?
He did, yeah. And it's about getting better at our you know practice. And I think even though I may have a lengthy resume, like I'm learning more and more now, and that is true because there is so much information out there at your fingertips at this point. This field is so saturated that you sort of know who's good and who's not. And you look at these people and you're like, okay, that's interesting. There's some good info out there. So just like with catching, I'm sure there's new aspects of saying, okay, that's another way to look at it. That's interesting.
Don't get me started. That way. Don't me get you fucking started.
No, I know. But it's just a lot of it's just semantics within conversation. And a lot of it is just saying it differently. And it's like, well, that's what I told you. This guy's saying it this way. But like I said, the better coach is going to make it so you understand it and so you could really simplify it. And if you have an athlete that is somewhat intelligent, it's going to be a very easy transition. So, and the one thing I do cherish more than anything else in this world, besides my wife, my family and everything, is the fact that the kids that I have coached that I'm still friends with, and the relationships that we do have. I mean, that's my family, like the Don Blancos, you know, it's just that's blood and everything else. Like Peter Garcia, one of the coaches down here that's been, you know, so
guys, I love
these are guys I lean on, and these are guys I see come up and I'm so proud of because they stay true to who they are. And it's a fun process to go through, and I think any coach will let you know it's relationships that matter.
Well, I think that's a very good point. You know, we'll start to land the plane here. We could have you on again, but like being authentic, Like,
Yes.
dude, you could not have picked a better way to segue towards the back half of the conversation than being your authentic self. Have you ever, can you tell us about a time where you were not your authentic self and what the results were compared to when you said, okay, here's the wake up call. I need to be who I am 100% of the time. And then the results there.
This year.
Talk.
As you know, we're making some big moves. We're signing some big contracts coming up. I think you have to understand that you're not for everybody. And I think you have to understand that not everyone is going to love you in the room.
Right.
And it's, you can't please everybody. So you have to put your best product out there that you can, and that you know is actually helping people. And it's taken through this aspect of really understanding of how am I creating the vision of Beyond Motion, and where are we going forward with it, and who am I and who do I want to attract?
Right.
And once I lay off that aspect of like, well, you know, this kid can come in, he's got this program he's doing from this organization, we'll blend that in here, we'll blend that in there. And I'm not like, when I want you full throttle. Like I don't want you bring in someone else's program in unless we have to sign it off and do some lists for coach to see that they're doing it. Right. I want you full throttle because I guarantee you I'm going to coach much better than what you got out there. And I'm going to give you a program much better than what you got out there.
I love it, man.
It's just, we've had some conversations in the last year that have really brought light to that, and makes you realize that, listen, you know, I'm not willing to compromise on my beliefs. I'm not willing to compromise on what I know makes an athlete better.
Right.
And it will show you through the other side too, because authenticity at the end of the day, the kids understand, the kids know, and you're going to attract the client that you want.
I love that, man. I think, you know, as we progress in business and in our lives, we have these pivotal moments of, okay, who are we? Right. And not only who are we ready to let the world see that? Right. And I think for me, when I started this thing, it was still hard for me to kind of let the world see who Sean French really was in the you know, the vulnerable spots of me. Because, you know, growing up, a lot of people would say, you know, he's very confident, borderline cocky. That's not who I am. I mean, I'm not a cocky individual. I can be very confident, but I also have a lot of limiting beliefs, right? So I've been working through those my whole life, right? And I mean, you know them because you're one of my closest friends. So I tell you what those are. And the people that are starting to, you know, listen to the podcast and then, you know, tune into my Instagram page and, you know, which it's growing, they're starting to see that Sean French for who he really is. But I'm finally just now comfortable with letting that get out, right? And I think there's a point in time as we get older that, you know, we either do that or we live in our own personal prison.
That's so true. I mean, you elegantly say what I'm thinking, and I wish I could express it like you. But
because when I hear myself talk, it's just like, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, no, man, it's so true, and it's you know, listen, social media is a way to get that authenticity out there. And I think after our conversations, even about like social media aspects and everything, it's you don't want to be in a box. You want to be authentic, and it's hard to show truly who you are and truly what you believe in. But also with, you know, the differences now compared to 20 years ago when you're coaching, you know, you want to be able to lean on a kid and be able to have them respond, because you're preparing them for college, you're preparing them for pros. And if they don't respond well to you, they're not going to respond well to someone else. So you're trying to leave that out a bit.
I think kids respond really, really well when they can tell what your true heart is.
Sure.
If they know, and kids can sense bullshit from a mile away, man. If they feel like you're just there to take a video of them and make a reel, okay? Or if you're there to truly impact their lives, brother, they feel that shit, right? And then when they feel it, they dial into you so much more. You and I talked about a ball player earlier this, probably about in the fall. And I said, hey, man, you know, get that kid to look me in the eye when we coach. I'm gonna tell you what, some bitch doesn't break eye contact. I want to thank you. That's part of what you do. And it's inadvertent, man. Right. And it's like you focus so much on the process and progressions with your athletes that they subconsciously learn how to pay better attention. And then when I get them, whether it's one of my catchers or one of our outfielders, it's just like, holy shit, this person has way more emotional intelligence, emotional maturity. It's incredible.
You know, I think that's really just from getting coached. I think now all of a sudden they're getting coached. If we take a tennis player or a golfer who's used to getting coached, as you know, they need a golf, you know, they have a one-on-one person with them for 4 hours a day.
Right.
These are athletes that just are so receptive to every aspect you're giving them. So all of a sudden, that's, I think, a skill too, you're talking about how in tune they are with you. If you have a kid that has not been coached a lot in the past, I think that that becomes more difficult. And all of a sudden, natural talent got that individual there. And all of a sudden, they need to refine this natural talent, and they're not very receptive sometimes. So the more someone's actually getting in front of them and saying, no, I want it this way, not that way. And this is how I want it to look. This is how I don't want it to look. And this is the reason why. And like you said, I think it's just, it becomes a very coachable athlete. And at the end of the day, they're very successful athletes, because it's not only you and me seeing it. Right. Now it's the college coach seeing it. Now it's the scouts seeing it. Now the scouts say to the GM, now they're getting drafted. Now the, you know, low A seeing it, double A seeing it.
The whole world seeing it.
These kids are very projectable at that point.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I could talk to you forever, man. I really can. I appreciate everything you're doing from the youth standpoint to being a true coach. But I do want to end on this thing. I asked you a question the other day. I said, what's one fun thing that we don't know about you? And your response was, I don't know. Well, I fucking found something. Okay?
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit is right. And it's out there in plain sight, but it's something that was so interesting to me. And I want you to elaborate on it. You are a certified wilderness responder. What the hell is that?
Oh my God. That's
Are you Bear Grylls, bro? Like, what's up?
I couldn't do one damn thing I had to do in that course if I needed to. If you're hurt in the woods, please don't call me. Anyone that listens to this.
Well, shit, man, if I'm hurt in the woods, I'm probably panicking. Actually, you won't find me in the woods.
One of the advantages of going to school in Colorado was you had opportunities to really do some outdoor activities and outdoor aspects of classes. Wilderness first responder course is called a woofer. So if anyone's listening on the West Coast, they're going to be like, wow, you know, if I went to REI when I was in Denver, I would just say that and they'd be like, oh my God. And my sister laughed so hard because she knew I wouldn't know how to do anything in my life depended on it outside. And it was a semester of pretty much learning outdoor rescues. Okay. So I could it was a Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, every other weekend for a whole semester. So it was intense. And every Sunday we'd be in the backcountry doing rescues, like river rescues, everything else. And it was the coolest thing because one of the one nights, and I was also, that's when I was doing it with the Air Force Academy. They were playing in a bowl game, but we had river rescues, and it was just off in the West Cliff Mountains. I don't know if anyone knows that region. It's right near Pueblo and everything else in Colorado, and it's snowing with flakes like as big as, you know, my palm. And you just look up, and I don't know how many 20-some-year-olds can really be appreciative of the present moment, because I think that's a learned skill more so. Yeah, sure. And it made me appreciate that with just the monstrous aspect of the energy that the outdoors can give you. And I know I turned it not to a funny thing, but it was one of the coolest things I've done. So it was just cool, man. Yeah. But a funny thing about me, man, I mean, I listen to, like, okay, I love music. Like I love singing. I love playing with stuff, music, instruments, everything else. I'm horrible at all of it. But if I like a song, I listen to the same song consecutively, bro, every day. Like I'm in the shower, the same song, pop, same song. And my wife goes, "Oh my God, what are you doing? No wonder you're not in a good mood. The song's depressing." Dude, so we are the same fucking person. Like, I'll send you my latest song I'm addicted to. I'm gonna send you mine too. Oh, I'm gonna send you mine too. Should we tell them what it is? This Connor Maynard is this kid, Maynard,
Okay.
Conor. The kid has chops, man. He can sing,
dude.
And I talk like that because I feel like I should, because I listen to it. So I don't even know what that really means.
Send me a link. I want to send me a link. I want to listen to it. So I'll tell everybody here, when you see me working out in the gym, I will play this. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. I will play over and over again Jason Aldean and Carrie Underwood, If I Didn't Love You.
That's like a romantic song. What are you doing?
No, reminds me of my life. It drives
That's good.
me. It's crazy. I know, but dude, I love the song.
I think music has its own vibe to it, and I listen. I love Disturbed. I love POD. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's some songs that I just put on replay, and it's like music has a strong serotonin and GABA reflex on the body as well. So it can be substituted for a lot of feelings. So, but my wife and your wife can chat and discuss how weird we are that like he plays the same. I'll go to bed with speakers with my earbuds in. The same song over and over and
That's
over
hysterical.
and over
That's
and
hysterical,
over. And I'm
man.
just like, and my wife looks at me like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, like what is your deal, right?
So yours is good. I like that. That's. I mean, that says a lot of stuff about you that we may need to talk about.
Yeah, we can talk about it offline. I don't think we need to divulge it here, but no, I mean, like, hey, the reality is I love the song, and it for some reason it hits me, and then just like maybe that's why I'm not very strong. I don't.
I think it's good. I think it's good, man. I think you feel it, and then you just go with it, and that'd be the weird thing, though. But I'm sure
I go off of how I feel, right? If I'm feeling it a certain way during my lift, right? Like I forgot, I lost my headphones. I don't know where the hell they're at. So this morning I wasn't listening to music, and I noticed throughout my workout, like my mindset was still like asleep, right? Yeah. But when I listen to that song, it just wakes me up. It cranks me. It just I'm here for it, All
right.
So puts me in a good mood. But
look on my Facebook page. It's got him doing a solo of my favorite song I've been listening to.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Go check it out. No one else checks it out, so dude, someone might.
I'm gonna check it out. I can do your Facebook. So tell everybody where they can find you before we get off here. So
probably Instagram is the best. It's Beyond Motion ATH. You can DM me. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. We have Twitter, Beyond Motion as well, ATH. And anything you guys need, I'm pretty quick to getting back that same day. And if not the next, right away. More than happy to answer any questions. But that's the most active platform that we utilize right now. I'm starting to utilize Facebook a little more. Because I'll tell you who trains just as good as an athlete is a 45-year-old woman. They train their ass off. So my coaches, we have 5 of them. They go, well, instead of an athlete, I'll take that 45-year-old woman who wants to go after it and run through a wall too.
Exactly.
So we just want people who want to be freaking lions in front of us. And
you don't have to be an athlete, ladies and gentlemen.
It's interesting the demographics in which you receive.
Exactly. So you don't have to be an athlete, guys, girls.
Not at all. No. We love all our clients there, and as long as you come in 100%, that's all we ask. We'll give you the rest.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, Rick, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm gonna send you a text when we hop off here, but I've got about an hour off, and then I got to record another episode. So
I know. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thanks.
And the energy that you're portraying, and I mean, you're a model of consistency, and I think that's what the kids got to take out of all this.
I appreciate you, brother. Much love, dude.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Okay. Peace.
Bye.